Hello everyone, this is me Debosmita Sarkar. Today we are going to talk about improvement in food resources, class 9 CBSE chapter 15. Introduction. All living organisms need food to derive energy for body development and survival. We obtain food from both plants and animals through agriculture and animal husbandry, respectively. It is important to bring in improvement in food resources to meet the ever increasing demand of the population. This includes the improvement of food resources not only in terms of quantity but also in quality, that is, increase in yield as well as improvement in crop variety. We need sustainable practices in agriculture and animal husbandry to achieve this without compromising the environment and natural balance. Mixed farming, intercropping, and integrated farming practices are some examples of sustainable and scientific management practices. Food supplies all the basic requirements which are required for growth, development, and proper health. Food is a mixture of all nutrients, including carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. Agriculture, the science or practice of farming, including the cultivation of the land, the growing of crops, and the rearing of animals to provide food, wool, and other product, is called agriculture. Sources of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates can be found in different forms such as sugars, fresh foods, starch, vegetables, cereals, corn, potatoes, fibers, bread, pastries, milk, and milk products. Sources of fats. Fats are obtained naturally in several foods such as butter, cheese, cream, and oilseeds, including soybean, groundnut, etc. Sources of vitamins and minerals. Vegetables and fruits are the main sources of vitamins and minerals. Some of the vitamins can also be obtained from meat and fish. Sources of protein. The most common food which has a higher amount of protein are chicken, egg, fish, almond, oats, seafood, soybeans, pulses, cottage, cheese, Greek yogurt, milk, broccoli, and quinoa. Fodder crops. Fodder crops are barsim, oats, or sandan grass are raised as food for the livestock. Kharif crops are the crops which are grown during the monsoon, means June to October. Black gram, cotton, green gram, maize, paddy, pigeon pea, and soybean are all examples of kharif crops. Rabi crops are grown in during the winter season from October to March and are known wheat, gram, peas, mustard, and linseed are rabi crops. Crop variety improvement. Varieties or strains of crops can be selected by breeding for various useful characteristics such as disease, resistance, response to fertilizers, products, quality, and high yields. This is called crop variety improvement. Hybridization. Hybridization refers to crossing between genetically dissimilar plants. Intervarietal hybridization. It is a cross between the two same species but with different varieties. Interspecific hybridization. It is a cross between two different species but the same genera. Intergeneric hybridization. It is a cross between the two intergeneric hybridization belonging to different genera. Genetically modified crops. When a desirable gene is added to the genome of a crop, we get genetically modified crops. For examples of genetically modified crops are JM crops, BT crops, BT brinjal, golden rice, etc. Factors for which a variety of improvement is done. There are several reasons for which different improved varieties of crops are generated, and the reasons include higher yield, improved quality, maturity duration, wider adaptability, biotic and abiotic resistance, desirable agronomic characteristics. Crop production improvement. Crop production management is the process that is used to effectively cultivate and harvest crops. Nutrient management. A plant gets its nutrient from air, water and soil. There are 60 nutrients which are essential for plants. Air supplies carbon and oxygen, hydrogen comes from water, and soil supplies the other 30 nutrients to plants. Nutrient management is done by supplying soil with required nutrients by adding fertilizers and manures. Macronutrients. Among the 13 essential nutrients, 6 are the most essential nutrients required in abundance for the growth of and development of plants. These essential nutrients are collectively called macronutrients. These include nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, sulfur, and magnesium. Mg are the macronutrients nutrients required by plants. Micronutrients. Among the 13 essential nutrients, 6 are classified into macronutrients and other 7 are classified into micronutrients. These nutrients include iron, Fe, boron, B, chlorine, Cl, manganese, Mn, zinc, Zn, copper, Cu, and molybdenum, Mo. They are required in very small quantities, therefore they are also called trace minerals. Manure is an organic matter which is obtained from the solid waste of animals, human sludge, sewage, and domestic waste, which are decomposed dead plants and animals and other plant waste, including dry leaves, twigs, agricultural waste, weeds, etc. It contains a huge quantity of nutrient which improves the soil quality and increase the yield of healthy crop. Compost and vermicompost. The process in which biological waste materials decomposed in pits are known as compost, and when compost is prepared by using earthworm to hasten the process, it is called vermicompost. Green manure. Prior to the sowing of these crop seeds, some plants like sun hemp or guar are grown and then mulched by plowing them into the soil. These green plants thus turn into green manure, which helps in enriching the soil nutrients. Fertilizers are commercially produced plants nutrients which are required in small quantities. There are various brands of these fertilizers available in the market. The most common example of fertilizer is NPK fertilizer, which provide nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Organic farming is a farming system with minimal or no use of chemicals as fertilizers and with a maximum input of organic manures. All resources are used optimally to get maximum chemical-free yield. Irrigation is the artificial process of applying water to crops to fulfill their water requirement. There are different types of irrigation practice for improving crop yield. This process helps in ensuring the crops get water at the right stage, that is during the growing season, which helps in increasing the expected yields of crop. Irrigation is done with the help of canals, wells, river, lift system, tanks, rainwater harvesting, and watersheds. Cropping pattern. Cropping pattern refers to the proportion of area under various crops. The three types of cropping patterns are intercropping, crop rotation, mixed cropping. Intercropping is a cropping technique in which two or more crops are cultivated simultaneously on the same piece of land adhering to a specific row pattern. This type of cropping pattern helps in increasing the productivity of the crops. Therefore, it is followed by small farmers who are completely dependent on rainfall for better yield. Crop rotation is a cropping technique which is practiced for growing different crops on the same land in pre-planned succession. The crops are selected based upon their duration on the 1-year rotation, 2-year rotation, and 3-year rotation. Mixed cropping is a cropping system where two or more crops are cultivated on the same piece of land simultaneously. This technique is most commonly followed by farmers as it reduces the risk of total crop failure because of less rainfall or adverse climatic conditions. Crop protection management. Field crops are infested by a large number of weeds, insects, pests, and diseases from which the crops should be protected. Weeds are unwanted plants in the cultivated field, consuming all the soil nutrients, finally reducing the crop yield. Protection methods against weeds are to protect the crop against weeds. The following methods are employed: preparing a good seed bed, mechanical removal of weeds, plants the seed in a timely fashion. Effects of insects and pests on crops. Insect pests attack the plants in the following ways. They cut the roots, stem and leaves of the plant. They suck the cell sap from various parts of the plant. They bore into stem and fruits, resulting in a reduction of yields. Pesticides and insecticides. Pesticides and insecticides are chemicals that are used to kill or destroy pests and other insects that cause extensive damage to stored and freshly harvested crop. These chemicals are basically toxic in nature. Fungi and viruses. Fungi and viruses are diseases causing harmful microorganisms which affect both the plants and newly yielded crops. These pathogens are destructive as they destroy huge farms of crop. A few examples of plant viruses are tobacco mosaic virus, cauliflower mosaic virus, cucumber mosaic virus, etc. This is causing fungi are leaf rust, stem rust, powdery mildew, etc. Herbicides and fungicides are highly toxic chemicals that are used to kill fungus and unwanted vegetation. Storage losses. After harvesting, the newly obtained food grades are stored in huge storage facilities such as silos. However, due to attack from pests or waterlogging, the food grains get destroyed. This is called storage loss. Factors affecting storage loss. It is a loss caused to the post-harvest system. The factors affecting the storage loss include both abiotic and abiotic factors. Listed below a few of them. Storage losses due to living organisms such as insects, rodents, fungi, mites, and bacteria are abiotic factors. Losses due to non-living organisms such as moisture and temperature in the place of storage is called abiotic of storage loss. Prevention and control measure for storage loss. Strict cleaning of the produce before storage. Fumigation using chemicals that can kill pests. Proper drying of the product first in sunlight and then in shade. Animal husbandry is farming and maintenance of animals for commercial purposes. Animals are raised for milk, meat and eggs. Cattle are reared by almost all farmers in India. Cattle are reared for milk and draught labor for agricultural work. There are mainly two species of reared cattle, Bos indicus cow and Bos bubalis buffalo. The exotic breeds of cows are Jersey and Brown Swiss are reared for extended lactation. The Indian breed like Red Sindhi and Sahiwal are reared for disease resistance and drought labor. Many hybrids are also reared in India. Poultry farming. Poultry farming is a form of animal husbandry which is undertaken to raise domestic fowl for the production of eggs and chicken meat. Azil, Busra, Chittagong and Haggis are examples of the Indian varieties of poultry. Plymouth Rock, Wyandotte, Rhode Island Red and New Hampshire examples of American breeds. Other examples include English breeds, Sussex, Cornish, red caps, etc. Mediterranean classes such as Leghorns, white Leghorns, Minorca are more commonly. Layers are the egg-laying birds, and broilers are reared for meat. Fishery. Fishery deals with the procurement of fish for consumption. Fish is a good source of proteins and forms the diet of people living in the coastal area. Fish can be obtained from the sea, freshwater bodies, or even the estuaries. The process of capturing fish is known as aquaculture. The different types of fisheries are marine fisheries and inland fisheries. Marine fishery deals with the fishing in the oceans and seas. Apart from fishes, it also deals with other seafood such as prawns, lobsters and crabs. Inland fishery deals with fishing in rivers, lakes and tanks. Rohu, katla, mrigal, carp, etc. are very popular varieties of fish reared in freshwater. Beekeeping. Beekeeping, also called apiculture, is the rearing of bees for the production of honey and wax. This has become a major financial, rewarding, and agro-based activity. Some of the exotic varieties reared in India are Apis mellifera, Apis adamsoni, Apis serena indica, commonly known as the Indian bee, is a popular indigenous variety. Apis dorsata, known as rock bee, is also an indigenous variety. Now we will see some frequently asked questions on this chapter. What are the uses of intercropping? Saving space and resources, repelling pests, providing nutrients for neighboring plants. Disadvantages of weeds: efficiency of irrigation is reduced, land value reduces, crop production decreases. Meaning of organic farming: organic farming is a production system which avoids or largely excludes the use of synthetically compounded fertilizers, pesticides, growth regulators, genetically modified organisms, and livestock's food additives. Thank you. Now we will see, now after these boring lectures, I think, now we will see a very fun and exciting quote that is there in Harry Potter. We talked about biology, right? About plants and all those. So Neville Longbottom is gifted with herbology. So don't forget to give Neville a love, Ginny told James as she hugged him. Mom, I can't give a professor love. But you know, Neville. James rolled his eyes. Outside, yeah, but at school, he's a Professor Longbottom, isn't he? I can't walk into herbology and give him love. So with this, we came to the end. Thank you. Please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to comment in the comment section below. Bye bye. Stay home and stay safe.